Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed me. Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started. One story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
That train is here. You better get ready to get on it. That's all I got to say. Happy Friday to you. T to the G to the I to the F. We have made it all the way through another work week. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. For real, and I mean it. I'm not playing, and it's not just because the weekend's here, but isn't it a wonderful thing when every day we have the opportunity to move further inside our divine journeys on purpose, with purpose, through purpose. That's why that's the bell of purpose. And I don't ring it just because it's a prop or some type of show gimmick. I ring it because it's literally a reminder, an opportunity, if you will, that we need to constantly be aware that when the truth is on the table, it has a ring to it, just like that bell. Don't get duped. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. Keep moving within purpose. Can I get a name, man? I'll kick things off. I ain't scared. There it is. There's one on the screen for you right there. That's right. That means we are in agreement. And just because we are here, simply the fact that two or more of us have come together, we're fulfilling and in receiving one of the greatest promises God has ever given us. And all of them are great. But I love that one that guarantees us that when we come together in agreement, spiritual magic is what happens. So happy you're here. It is the 14th day of July. We're halfway through the year, you guys. Now listen, a lot of us at the front end, we make all of these we set goals, and I hate this term, New Year's resolutions, because most of them don't work, but we decide about change, if you will. And one of those things that a lot of us go to is, I'm going to make more money this year. I'm going to save more money this year. I'm going to do better. I know the word finances for me used to send me into, I'd rather watch every scary movie from Creature Feature and The Exorcist, Damien Thorne, all those used to scare me. I couldn't go to sleep. I'd rather watch all of those one back to back than go look at my online banking. Remember those days? I did. I'm serious. Or when you get those little collection notes, those notifications, this is resurgent debt collection service, and you be like, try to get out of sight, out of mind. Nope. Listen, none of us likes to get chased. We don't like being stalked or followed by our finances. Money is not the root of all evil. It's what you do with it or not. And today's guest, I want to get right to it. I just love this woman, Dr. I hope I say the first name right. I should have asked her. Severine Bryan. Okay, thumbs up from backstage. Hey, thank you, Severine. And there's just something about her. You know, here, just everywhere, but here on Bathrobe Moments, for those of you who've been watching for all 6 years, thank you for that. We've had multiple guests that talk about finances, financial literacy, blah, blah, blah. See, I can't even see. It don't even want to roll off my tongue, that word. It's true. You got to work your mouth and your whole face to get financial stuff to come out clearly, because we ain't used to talking about it. I'm just saying. I know I ain't the only one. For real. I don't care what it looked like. I still deal with it, but it only works to my benefit when I deal with it, not when I avoid it. I did that for decades, didn't have a pot to piss in, or like grandmama say, or a window to throw it out of. I didn't. And it wasn't because I didn't have what it takes to make it, or I just didn't know what to do with it. When you know what to do with something, it means that you're doing it and you're receiving it because you're moving in accordance with a plan. We're going to talk about that and more today. I'm going to start off by showing you guys this, and then just when this clip is playing, I'm going to bring Dr. Severine in. She's going to talk some money with us today. Okay, so get your notepads ready. Have your questions ready. This could be the chance for you to change it all if you want change at all. So let's take a look at this little ditty that I found on YouTube. It's only 3 minutes long. Money worries. Why fear dominates your finances. Why indeed? Let's take a look.
The financial independence path really is freeing up your life from debt and from the obsessive desire, obsessive materialism. I was leading a session on our relationship with money. I just was curious about where people were with this at this point. This was in 2016. We had 50 people in the room. We circled up and we went around the room, just to say something about your relationship with money. And I realized every person in that room was in fear about money. From the 80-year-old who I know has millions of dollars to the 20-year-old who's like already $20,000 in debt. And honestly, it infuriated me. Like, what kind of society requires that everybody participate in something that terrifies them? This feels so amiss to me. And then I started to talk to the 20-year-olds, several 20-year-olds in the room about their debt. And I realized that they had bought into a story that don't worry about the debt you accumulate because you'll be able to pay it off through your profession, that a college education ipso facto produces X percent more income over a lifetime, but that they were training in professions that may actually disappear by the time they're fully trained. And I thought, what kind of society turns its financial system on its young people? And I was like sort of lurid, so I said, harvest the organs of the young. I just felt like I was watching like this old vultures of the financial system, having discovered one more profit center, and it was their children. So there's a certain level at which we really need to pay attention to the politics of this whole situation. For example, one of the big barriers to the people in this movement actually pulling the trigger and becoming financially independent is that their health care is tied to their job. So I believe that is a social good that we all have to work on. We need to work on some form of Medicare for all. And in a way, it's a rising tide. It's going to happen. There's no question about it. It's just how it happens and when it happens and what are the mechanisms for it. But we really need to support that because not everybody is in a corporate setting where they can get healthcare. That's a big personal expense, or college debt. Eventually, I believe our society will need to go toward something that is K through 16 education for everybody so that we are not graduating our young people with that degree of debt, because that puts them in a financially not independent state for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
So we really eventually need to think about how the game is designed and to make it easier for more people. I call it FI for all, financial independence for everybody. How can everybody be free of the fear that I saw in that room 2 years ago that got me to do the update of Your Money, Your Life? That everybody in that room was afraid for their financial future. Everybody felt stuck. That's not an appropriate way to run a country.
Wow. Yes. That was Look, Dr. Sev Talks Money. How are you? Welcome to the show. What do you think of that?
I am well. I am loving what she's sharing because it is so factual.
It really is. And it just was so crystal clear. So tell everybody who you are. I didn't even I'm going to go to your website. I want people to actually see it. I was going to do a bio from there, but I'm just going to I do this all the time. I dip out for about a minute and let the guests create their own vibe with the audience and just say why you're here and why what you do and how what you do serves this world as far as easing some form of suffering. And we heard about that suffering just now in the clip. So it's already laid out there. So I'll be back in about a minute. Take your time.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons I do what I do is because I was like those 20-year-olds in fear. I went through a divorce in my 50s and I had to rebuild my finances. But I was lucky. I was lucky in the sense that I had been teaching personal finance in various organizations for over 20 years prior to that. And so I had the knowledge that I needed to rebuild my finances. And I worked with a financial planner to put some things in place. And thankfully, my credit that dipped into the 500s is now back in the 800s. My savings have gone from negative into the multiple five figures. My net worth has grown, and it's all because I had the tools to be able to do that. So, what I do is I help busy individuals and couples take control of their finances so they can reach their financial goals and have peace of mind. Because that last part, that peace of mind, that is the best thing. It doesn't mean that the person I'm working with is going to be debt free, but they're going to have strategies to be able to see beyond where they are. Because if you can't see past where you are financially, you are depressed. You feel hopeless. And when you feel hopeless and depressed, then you're going to say, why try? Why bother? And finances are one of the biggest indicator or one of the biggest leader to stresses and medical issues. And so if it's not about having money so much as how do I manage the money that I do have? How do I take control of my finances in a way that makes me sleep well at night?
Amen. Ooh, girl. Look, that's all I could say. Look, I'm gonna share right now, just off the rip. I want to show you guys Dr. Sev's website, which is Sev, S-E-V, like the beginning of the word seven, talksmoney.com. We're going to drop that link in, so don't worry, you won't miss it. It's even going to be in the comment section at the conclusion of today's broadcast. But here's why I wanted to let you guys see this, because I was telling Dr. Sev backstage before we got started, it is so clear when you come to her website why she is doing what she's doing. It's not just to make money. It's not just to anything other than save people from what she saved herself from. Okay. So look at it. Ooh, I can't even get it out. Read it. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, worrying about the bills piling up faster than money is coming in, and thinking to yourself, how did I get here? Color me yes. As a single, again, woman, now she's single in the prime of her life. And how does that fit in with me even? I felt I got started late to learn things about retirement and this and the other. Boom, boom, boom. All of these things apply to something that has been creeping and stalking me for decades. And right here, where she goes, show your money who's boss. Right. Money is not the root of all evil. It's what you do with. Okay, we're back. And doctor, if we freeze, because Comcast Beyond reading there. I don't know. Oh Lord. Okay. What I love about what I was reading there is you say, I worked ED, the plan. It changed ED, my life. The only way we can get to the ED of any word is we got to dive into the ing of that same word.
Yes.
I was working the plan. It was changing my life. You can't just jump to the ED by ignoring things. So I am just going to shut my mouth, okay, and let you just pour into us. Take us from the first thing all the way through. I'm not even going to ask any questions unless I just can't. I'm about to burst, but I really want to just give you the stage to just give them what they need so they can have what they want.
Yes. As Dr. Lauren said, one of the first things we have to do is acknowledge that there is an issue. And I know society has made it seem like money is supposed to be this giant elephant, but money is only a tool. And I know it sounds like, oh yeah, you're simplifying it. You know about money, but it really is only a tool. What do you do with a tool? You learn to use it, right? When you go to that college campus, you didn't know anybody, you didn't know where any of the buildings were, but you found the directions, and eventually you can make your way around that college campus. When you learn how to walk, you stumble a little bit, and then now you take off running, right? That's money. You may stumble a little bit as you learn about managing your money. You may lose your way a little bit as you learn about money. But the more you learn, the more you know, and the more you can manage your money. Because listen, this world of money is a game. You have to know the rules of the game to win. So don't be afraid of money. Don't be afraid to face it. I have clients who say, I don't want to know how much I owe, but then how do you tackle the bills? How do you tackle and take care of what it is you need to do? Just because the amount you owe is more than your salary is no reason to fear or to hide from your money. Because listen, corporations, what do they run on? Loans. What does the government run on? Loans. Everybody owes somebody. Okay, everybody owes somebody, but it's how do you manage that? How do you manage that? So don't be afraid just because you owe some money. Structure yourself, structure your money, structure your financial goals in a way that what the money that you have can work for you. Because here's a statistic that I think it's a lending club or lending. Yes, I think it's a lending club. Said 49% of people who make 100,000 and over are living paycheck to paycheck. That means they are not able to do things for their family or to provide for their finance, for their future, say for retirement and all those things, because they're living paycheck to paycheck. So that is something we need to stop, because making more money is not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Is managing what you're making. Okay?
Being a great steward.
Okay. Excuse me. I can make a lot of money. Talk about lotto people who win the lotto. Okay.
We've all heard
a
this
little
one.
bit. Broke in 2 years. Broke in 3 years. And it's not about the money because they got the money. It's about management of the money. So even if you only make $20,000 a year, you can learn to manage it. Don't be scared of those retirement numbers they throw out. You need to have $1 million, whatever. My mom in Florida is retired and she didn't make millions and she's doing well. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure you know some older folks who retired and doing well.
And
so
do what they want to do when they want to do it.
Yeah. Don't be scared of the numbers. Don't be scared of the amounts. Don't be scared of all of that. Even if you make $20,000.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Make it work for you.
Exactly. And thank you for bringing that up about older people, because I'm going to just use my birth mother, Lucille, as an example. Boy, sometimes I go, man, I wish I would have grew up with her, because she had a system. You know, if something broke in her house or whatever, she wasn't, in most cases, she wasn't going to call a repairman. She was going to get it brand new. It's because she could. And that's how she rewarded her diligence, her stewardship. Now, I watched her. First thing she did was her bank was in another town. She had to drive to the other town. She wasn't doing no online nothing. So she had to drive there, right? So if she knew at the end of the month or before the end of the month that, you know, she needed something or whatever, something small, I would see her actually rolling change. Before she would drive to that credit union, she would roll change if she had to, you know. And so you're right, management, even that. She had it in the cookie tin, the change, you know what I'm saying? That's not a very, you know, it's not, what do you call that? It's not a difficult system. It's not intimidating. It was just her way, old school way. Now, I want to ask you this before you get started into the literal tips. Should we how do we become honest with ourselves before we even open the door and go into the financial house to try to clean it up? Scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it that we try to acknowledge whether or not we are living within and navigating within a scarcity mindset so that we don't self-sabotage the plan?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, there are so many things we've been told. Money is the root of all evil. It's not. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil, because when we love it too much, then we try to kill somebody else to get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the things we tell ourselves, I can't afford that. No, it's not like you can't afford it. You choose to spend your money on something else. So when you tell yourself, I can't afford it, then that's the scarcity mindset. Reframe the way you think about money. And for some of us, it's not even what we say or what we do, it's the traumatic events that are, in the past. Maybe we were one of those where every month we had to hide from the rent guy. The guy was collecting the rent. Every month we had to wonder if the light was going to be on. So those things create a picture in our mind around money. It's okay, I never had enough. So we're going to do one of two things. When we get money, we're going to say, when I was young, I never had any money, so I'm hoarding all of it. I'm not spending on anything. Or we're going to say, I didn't have anything, I'm going to blow my money, because you only live once. And neither of those help us. So, it's too extreme. So we have to be able to see ourselves. What messages are you telling yourself around your money? Even when we talk to our children, don't tell your children you can't afford it. Tell them, what we're going to do is, instead of buying this bike, we're going to put $50 in your savings account. Or we can say, we're not going to do it this time. Maybe next year we'll get it for you. What we're going to get you this time is the Game Boy, or, whatever. Reframe the conversation that we have with our children, because telling them I can't afford it, give them that message that we're poor. And it's not because we're poor. Maybe we don't have money, but it's the way we present that message to our kids, because we don't want them to be like it's feast or famine. We get the check from the IRS, and we have a barbecue and invite everybody over, and then tomorrow we can't pay our bills. So we have to just manage, again, going back to the message of the messages we tell ourselves, the message we've heard. Go back and see what your first connection with money is. What happened in your household? Did your mom and dad argue about money? Because that, again, subconsciously drives the way we think about money.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
I just did a YouTube episode about the subconscious things that drive and get the way we think about money and get us into trouble with our money. Friends, all of that stuff.
I want to throw this in there because this is an important piece, especially in African-American families. I know for those of you out here who are out there listening or on the replay, somebody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I had two families, adopted family, biological family, both single Black women, worked multiple jobs all their lives to build some legacy, buy a home, keep it nice, take care of it, to have something to pass to their kids. Now, in both of these families, they also paid for this, that, and the other, co-signed for this, that, and the other, not realizing that the fact that these are grown-ass people that cannot manage their money, they got to ride on my credit to get something. What do you think happened, doctor? Soon as both of those women passed away, everything they built is no trace of it. Where the houses once stood are vacant lots. They're taken for taxes, or they sold it to pay off bills, or just they weren't prepared to maintain it. Yeah. So this is another piece that ties in with what you're saying about the conversations we have with ourselves and our kids, because do you really want to build legacy only to have it destroyed? And I mean, within 3 to 5 years, all traces of what took a lifetime for these women to accumulate was gone.
Yeah.
And the thing
Think
is,
about the Vanderbilt. They don't longer have the wealth because they built it, but they didn't prepare the next generation to manage it. And now it's gone.
And gone. So it happens on both ends of the spectrum. Like you said, you don't got to have $1 million in blah, 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 blah. So let's get down into it. Where does a person start? I'm hypothetical. Let's say I'm the person. I'm 35 years old. I still have $200,000 worth of student loan debt. I'm starting up family. I'm looking for money. We are in an apartment. Don't know when we're ever going to be able to buy. Just like people who live in hotels thinking it's temporary, and all of a sudden they've been there for 7 years in the same hotel because you can't get out.
Mhm.
You can't talk about things people do, if you could, that they don't realize at the time when they start practicing that they are literally painting themselves into a corner.
Yes.
Talk about things people do that they can't get out of.
Yeah. One of the first things you have to do is you have to be honest with yourself. And that's something that's hard. You have to think how much is coming in. And I know we don't like to talk about the dreaded B word, but you really need to know your budget.
Oh, budget. I was like, see what I mean?
No, for some people, a budget is a 4-letter word, but you really need to know, okay, what's coming in and what's going out. Because 63% of people spend money every month. They know they spent their money, but they don't know where it went. And so in order to start seeing a way out, you have to know how much you're making and where you're spending it. It's as simple as that. What am I spending it on? I'll share this story with you. How I started really paying attention to my money. When I came to this country from Jamaica, I went to college and in Florida, and then I went to Mississippi for a job. And one of the organizations came to our company and gave us these little books to track our money. And I love to read. So every weekend I was at the bookstore because I didn't know anybody. Mm-hmm. I lived in Mobile, traveled across to Moss Point, Mississippi, and I was at the bookstore every weekend. And when I started tracking my money, I was spending over $300 on books. And these are not educational books, okay? But I love to read. So I'll be up all night reading. And that woke me to the fact that $3, $5 was adding up to over $300 a month. And that is one of the things that trap us. It's not the big expenses. It's a little expense. So for you who's listening to me and you're thinking, how can I get out of this? Know what's coming in. Know what's going out. However you want to track that. You can use an app. I'm a spreadsheet girl, so I love spreadsheets. Yeah. Whatever way, write it on paper. Start tracking those little expenses, the little foxes that gnaw at the grape. That's what catches us.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I just looked at myself on the screen. I realized I would look like the Grinch because I'm like, what is she talking? Turn off this woman. Turn her off. Because you're really picking at some scabs, some open wounds, really, not even scabbed over. I do want to ask something real quick before we move forward. Okay, online banking resources, because when you started giving the example of your book buying, that spending, I'm on my online banking, you can click on it. It shows how much you spend on restaurants, how much you spend. And I was like, when I started seeing that number, I'd say I ain't going to look, but I glanced over. I was like, I spent $1,300 in restaurants last month.
It creeps up. It creeps up. I'm telling you. And those are the things, again, that cause us issues because we're not thinking we're spending $300 or $500 or $600 on restaurants. We're thinking we're spending $10 to eat out or $20 to eat out or $30 to eat out. And it adds up. So you mentioned online banking. One of the things people can do is, as you talk about your moms who had an account in a different place.
Yes.
Make your money, get an account that's not easily accessible. One of the things you can do is also automate your savings. I don't care if it's $1, okay? It's not about the amount, it's about the habit of saving. Get into the habit of saving. Set up $1 to go to that online savings account that doesn't have a debit card. Open an account in the next town, a community bank. That's not have branches that don't have branches everywhere.
Right.
Set up that account. put a $5 in it every month. You will be surprised how that grows because of what we call compound interest, because you get interest on top of your interest. So, just start the habit of saving. Everybody can save something, because if you eat at McDonald's and eat at any of them other places, you got money to save. Okay.
And you know what? Even I just want to add this. What I love about what you're doing is you're pointing us towards those things that we can easily miss because we assume it doesn't matter. And it made me instantly think about how just last week I needed some cash. I don't really carry cash that much, but when I do, I usually get it out of the ATM, and there's a fee attached if it's not my bank. And I was at the gas station. I said, "Oh, they have an ATM in there." It was $3.50, and I'm standing there looking across the street at my bank, right across the street. And I was like, "Well, it's only $3.50. I don't feel like not getting in the car."
Convenience costs. Convenience costs. It costs to have the convenience. And so we don't think about these little things. And I bet you, if you went to the bank and you got, I went to the ATM and you got maybe 10 withdrawals, that's $35 for the month. $35 can pay your light bill, or part of your light. Well, these days it can pay maybe 1/10 of your light bill, but it can buy maybe a couple of days grocery. So these little things, again, the little foxes that not the great, these little things make a difference. And listen, one of the things I would say to everybody that's listening, I'm not saying a life of austerity. Do not live a life of austerity. Do not give up the things that you enjoy, because that would also derail you. It's balance.
Talk about that.
Have the Starbucks coffee, have the ice cream, eat out, but make it work for your budget. If it doesn't fit into my budget now, what can I do? Do you bake cakes? Hey, I'm going to bake cakes for Easter. Call up the family and see who wants to buy a cake, and make that extra money to be able to do the things that you want to indulge in. Find ways to make the extra money
so that you don't end up resenting saving. Because the minute you do, you go over there, I deserve that. I'm going in there and get it. I've done that so many times.
Yes. I only live once crowd, find out, they're living under the bridge because of the choices they made. Now, I have a beef with the medical industry, because a lot of people who end up, with medical debt, and that's scarring their credit and all of that. I hate that, because it's things out of their control. But we're talking here about things that's in your control.
Yes.
So if you have medical debt and because of that, it messes up your credit or something like that, this is not that conversation is not for you. This conversation is for those who are making choices that doesn't serve them. And we all, listen, we are a spoiled society, and we don't like to make sacrifices, and we don't like to do anything to take away our enjoyment. But what if you said, for 6 months, I'm not going to eat out. I'm going to set this money aside to pay off this debt. What if you said, for 3 months, I'm not going to go to the movies. It's temporary. It's temporary. So we can do little things like that. It's okay, for 3 months, I'm not going to eat out. Here is my budget for my meals. Here are the meals I'm going to have. So you're planning the meals, and you're intentional when you go to the grocery store. Simple things like that. So, if you meal prep. So when you're tired, you're not like, oh, I don't feel like cooking.
Let me go to McDonald's. Right. Let me get Uber Eats.
Yeah. So you plan out. It doesn't mean you can't do an Uber Eats in between there, but when you're strategic about what you're doing, and I'm not talking about theory here. I'm talking about things that I did, that I'm doing, that's helping me. Okay. Because after walking away from my house because of my divorce, my credit shot, and all that stuff that I talked about before, I was able to buy a house in, that's what, 6 years, 7 years after that, when everything got back to where it was supposed to be. Yeah. And that's because I was intentional about making sacrifices, because I knew it was temporary. It's not long-term. So work with someone who's going to help you put strategies in place to make your money work for you.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, okay, I just walked in and I'm like, okay, Dr. Sev, I'm here. I ain't got shit. I don't know why I can't do nothing. I might as well just lay down and die. I don't see any way out of this. And I'm 61 years old. It's too late. I mean, what am I gonna do? How can you help me? What do I need to do to change this? So let's play this role here.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of building up your retirement, yes, you may not build it up to what you may need to live on, but we have to take a hard look at your finances. What are you spending on? Are talk about co-signing? Are you supporting your adult children? Stop. You can
And grandchildren.
You can borrow for loans. They can borrow for school. They can borrow for whatever they want, but you can't borrow for retirement. So stop supporting your adult children unless they're they have some medical issues or something, and really take a hard look at your finances. What's coming in? How much can you save? Is there a way that you can sacrifice? Give up the TV services. Go to the library and get videos.
Talking about, Willis?
Go to the library.
I know you didn't say give up the TV service.
Go to the library.
Ain't got nothing to live for then.
Yeah, go to the library and get videos, get movies from the library. The library has free. They have tickets for free events in the different communities. They have tickets for free things. Go to the park. There's so many little creative things you can do. You might not get to that fight because it's kind of late.
It is. It is.
One, but there are little things that you can do to try to set aside some money. So when you're not able to work anymore, you can probably pull from that pool of money.
You have something. Now let's talk about credit cards. Easier than ever to get. Even people with no credit can get a credit card. Even for $400, but they get 8 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
In fact, you can put your children, some credit card companies, you can put your children on. There's no age limit to put your child on as a co-signer on some credit cards.
I know I ain't doing that.
You don't have to give them the card. You help. Once they're 13 and over,
to help them build. What I want to know.
You don't have to give them the card. Don't give them the card, and don't put them on there if your credit is jacked up. Okay.
Right. But I want to ask about this: how we pay. A lot of people, if you got a $13,000 limit, you got a $13,000 limit, but then you get the bill and it says minimum payment $500, and people just keep paying that payment, thinking they're really paying it off when they're not even there. That's interest. You're not even hitting the principal. Same thing. And if you do it on a credit card, you're going to do it with your mortgage. That's why some people pay 2 when they can, or they get ahead, like you said, with income tax time, instead of going out and buying a whole bunch of new outfits or whatever. So talk about, because my husband, I learned this after I got married to him, that all of his credit cards, he pays them to a zero balance every month. He will not go over what he knows he cannot pay because he knows what's coming in.
Yeah.
And we both work for ourselves, which is a little harder. And I want you to talk about that. Is it easier for people that they know that they're making this exact amount every month because someone's giving them a paycheck? But what about those of us who work for ourselves and our incomes fluctuate due to unforeseeable circumstances or things beyond our control?
Yeah.
Is there a different mindset as far as how to make this work?
No, it should be the same mindset, is to not charge more than you have that you can pay. It should be the same mindset. If I'm going to charge $500 on my credit card, it should be I have the money in my bank, but I'm charging it because I want the points or I want the cash back or whatever. So if you're going to use credit cards, you shouldn't charge more than what you have to pay. Because the reason is, if you lost your job, if you're living today for tomorrow's paycheck, if you lost your job, then now you're up the creek because you don't have that income. So you want to try your very best. I know there are circumstances where that won't happen, but for the most part, what you want to do is you want to not charge anything that you cannot pay, so that when the bill comes,
right, you can pay it off zero.
Because here's the thing: your credit, which I have an issue with it, but I'll just share what how the world works around your credit. Your credit, 35% of your FICO score is on-time payment. So when you make your payments on time, if you miss one payment, that's 35% of your score. Okay.
Wow.
If
did not know that.
30% is based on how much of your credit you're using. So let's say your limit is $1,000 and you're using $1,000. You don't get any points for that on your credit score, because 30% means of its utilization, how much of it you're using. So even if you use it, you want to make sure that you pay it off before the reporting date, because there are 2 dates to be aware of. The date, the reporting date, that's the cutoff date, when the credit card company sends your data to the credit bureaus. So that's the date to pay attention to. What is the balance on my card? So you want to make sure that is less than 30% of the balance, because that will positively impact your credit score.
Got it.
If it's over, you're going to get, of course, you're going to get dinged on your credit score.
Yeah. Do you work with people, individuals and couples, on credit repair? And if so, how do they take advantage of that through you?
I don't do repair because it's illegal in Georgia for me to do that. But what I do
to help people figure out how to fix their credit is illegal in Georgia?
No, for me to do that for you.
No, but where do people go to learn how to do it for themselves?
Yeah, you can come to me. So they can come to me, and I can educate them. I can tell them, show them what to do, show them what the different things to do that impacts them. But for me to write letters on your behalf or anything like that, then that I can't do that.
But for them to write their own letters,
for them to write their own letter
arrangement.
I have resources. The Federal Trade Commission. I mean the FT. No, the name just went out of my head. Federal Trade Commission's website. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I have a lot of resources from their free resources. I can show you how to get those resources. I can provide those resources for you, and I can help you educate you, work through getting your credit where it's supposed to be. I just can't do it for you.
Right. Right. And you don't want to teach a person, you don't want to give them a fish. You want to teach them how to fish.
Yes.
Right.
That is, oh my gosh, that is so cute, because a lot of people, they get help, and then eventually they end up, back where they were because somebody did it for them. Somebody,
exactly.
Once you learn how to do it,
they don't understand the process.
Yeah.
You got to fight for something so you can keep it when you get it. So let me ask you this: what about how damaging is it when people, tell people like when things end up going to collection? Mm-hmm. How damaging is that? Now, is that a whole nother pit? Beyond just the debt that's...
You don't want to get it there. What one of the things you want to do is, I don't care how scared you are, show up in court. Because if you don't show up in court when you get that letter, if you run from it and you don't show up in court, the judge can award the creditor anything. If they say, I wanted them to pay $1,000 a month, the judge may just go ahead and hit the gavel and say yes. But if you show up and you say, Judge, I can only afford $10 a month, then you have a conversation going, because then you can show your numbers, and then that protects you. Because once they get a judgment against you, there are some states where they won't allow it, but most states, I think there are like 7 states that won't allow them to garnish your wage. But once they get a judgment, and if the state allows it, they can garnish your wage. So you want to not let it get that far. You want to show up in court and plead your case. Because these, and then there are statutes of limitation. I mean, there's just so much to talk about. There's statutes of limitations where if in your state, if it's past the statute of limitation, they can do whatever they want, but they can't take you to court for it. If they haven't taken you to court yet, there are statutes of limitations for how long they can, the debt, like let's say the debt is 5 years old and they're wanting to take you to court. If your state statute is 4 years, they can't take you to court for it. They can't get a judgment. They can't get anything. You still owe the money, and they still can ask you for it, but they can't take you to court. So you need to know the rules and make sure you're protecting yourself. Because for some people, some people are deadbeat. They don't want to pay their bills. They can't afford it. They can't. They won't. But for the most of us, we just trying to figure out how to balance Peter and Paul and how to pay different things. So you knowing the rules and knowing what to do is going to help you show up in court. If you have debt, of course, it's going to, I mean, if it's been in collections, it's going to impact you. It's going to stay on your credit report for 7 years because of the state statute. So, I hope I can come back and share some more, because it's just a lot about, what's
I think,
involved in this world.
have you ever done online workshops?
I actually have a webinar I'm putting together now, and I actually go live on Facebook not yet Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube simultaneously on Sunday afternoons. I usually go
Okay.
live. Sometimes I have a guest, sometimes it's just me, but I go live and share a lot of information, and people can ask questions when they when they come up on the lives.
Right. And I'm scrolling, you guys, if you're watching the screen, there's like 4 different roads that you can take to get to the good doctor here. I know it's difficult because there are a lot of letters and things. So don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to drop every single one of these 4 links.
And if they
into
just
your-
search Sev Talks Money on Google, they'll
You
find
can
me
just
everywhere.
Google it. But I know how some people, good intentions, especially, they'll get off here. So I'm going to drop them in the comment section, you guys. So all you have to do is touch the screen or click on it if you're on your device. If you're watching from your big screen TV, then take a snapshot of what's on the screen right now and follow up. You want to start something that is difficult to even sit through and hear like it is. I know I've been making notes. I've been making notes on my paper here
And
about
having
things
an
that,
accountability partner helps. It helps
yes,
walk along with you, to encourage you, to get you, say the words that you need to hear to get you to where you need to go.
and to start being right and to get a clear picture of what you're dealing with. I think for a lot of us, Dr. Sev, we just need to see the light, that there is light, that there is hope. And before you know it, a year has gone by and you're in a totally different journey. And now we got a few minutes left, talk about how your life feels today because you made these hard choices and stuck it out and you were patient. How glad are you? Because
Very
if you
glad.
hadn't made those changes, probably wouldn't be the same person sitting here, or you wouldn't be sitting here at all. You'd probably be at one of your 6 jobs.
Right. And I'm very glad, because one of the things that this has led to now, I am 61 years old. I'll be 62 years old in December.
Me too.
And I I now have the option of, I'm contemplating, I'm saying it in public, walking away from my job in a few weeks, because I have a financial cushion, not only retirement and all of that. I have a financial cushion to give me breathing room. It is so freeing to have that financial cushion, because I don't have to work for the job that I'm working. I don't have to say, oh my God, I gotta go in, because if I don't go in, I'm not in that.
Damn, I gotta go into that place again.
It is so freeing. So once you get to that place of, that doesn't mean I'm debt free. It just means that I have the means, or and do this personal finance thing full time, because there are too many people that need the help, that need the message of hope, that needs the strategies to be able to get them to where they need to go. And I might not get you financial free, but I can get you financial peace.
Yes. Yes. I see all you guys out there watching from places I don't even recognize. Good to see you here today. I highly encourage all of you to save this broadcast today to your collection in your phone, so that you can come back and refer to it. But better yet, get over to Dr. Sev and take a dip in the pool of resources. She has a great many of them available, and you just might find something that resonates and works well within your journey. Last thing, let's finish up with this, Dr. Sev. If you, let's say, people forgot everything you shared with us here today, but you would hope that there would be one thing. If you're going to remember one thing out of everything you heard me say today, what would that one thing be? What do you feel is the most important nugget you dropped here? And you dropped quite a few today.
Yes, I would say anything is possible with a plan, which is my motto. Anything is possible with
you hit that
a plan. Not a wishing and a hoping.
That's right. That's right. Wants are the equivalent of a wish. You know, that's why you people say, well, Eskimos inhale on ice or whatever. You know, they got all these little cute sayings, but it's true. A plan is based on need. If you want what you need, then you need a plan. That's it. So get over. I'm going to put these links in for you. Dr. Sev, thank you so much. Unfortunately,
It's been
we're
my
out of time.
pleasure.
Yes, we're going to have you back. Definitely talk to you about doing some other things. Maybe we'll do a 90-minute television special, whatever, and just let people come in and just get all this great stuff to change their lives. Now, change the rest of your day by getting out there today and being the blessing that you were intended to be. You will receive accordingly. Trust me on that. Get out and have a wonderful weekend. Spend time with family. Pick up the phone. Say hi. Tell someone you haven't spoken to in a while this weekend. Tell them you love them. You're thinking about them. It'll be something you won't regret. I guarantee you that. And in the meantime, come on. Who's here Monday? Let me take a look. Coming up Monday. Oh, John Block. He's from California. I was on a meeting with him last night. He'll be here in Chicago with me and about 30 other people. I'm the NC at the Accelerator Business Summit at the Tinley Park Convention Center here in Chicago. Our keynote speaker, August 31st and September 1st, will be Sanjeev Chopra. Yep, you got it. He was here a few weeks ago, the brother of Deepak. So come on down or whatever. Show up Monday for sure to hear from John Block. And Doctor, thank you again. Lots of great tips and information. Looking forward to doing a lot more with you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Of course. You guys get out of here. And remember, as always, when I leave you, I tell you just how much you mean to me. I love you. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Have a blessed day, a blessed weekend. Meet me Monday morning, 8 a.m., God willing, on the front porch over there. And we'll do it all over again. Where? Right here on Bathrobe Moments. Bye-bye. Thank you, Doctor. Great job. Great job.